Sandy Hook half-truther response. 2012, December 14th. CNN, Connecticut State Troopers, St. Rose of Lima School, Sandy Hook shooting. Those are the keywords you look up. This is what you find. St. Rose in lockdown, December 14th, 2012. Accurate. Tuesday, December 16th, Connecticut State Police officers search outside St. Rose of Lima Roman Catholic Church, not a school, in Newtown, Connecticut, after a bomb threat, prompted authorities to evacuate the building. Gee, within 2 days of Sandy Hook, people were doing bomb threats in the area, harassing people. There's this annoying little Bogart who hasn't posted on his Facebook page for a long time because he loves harassing victims of murder or survivors. Anyway, they evacuated the building, which was a Roman Catholic church in Newtown, not a school. Someone got that wrong. You need to post a response saying, I got that wrong. Just say you got it wrong. And it was 2 days afterwards. Not at the same time. The building was on lockdown, but it was a church that was put on lockdown, just like the schools in the area were put on lockdown because there was a shooting in the area at a school. Investigators found nothing by 1 p.m. that day. All clear at the church in Newtown. Unclear what prompted police response at the time when they reported it. CNN video that was actually from a local news channel is what I'm referring to. Every video you find of this mutes the audio. And as they zoom in so you can't see anything below or above it. Or they add in their own audio. Or they say it's CNN saying that this is an evacuation of Sandy Hook, but it's the wrong location. But you're showing it 2 days later, so who's being deceptive as hell by cutting out the top and bottom of it, the right and left side, shrinky-dinkying it, slowing it down, speeding it up, adding dramatic music, or just leaving it muted, where it would have explained very clearly what you're trying to hide. 10:30 a.m. December 16th, 2012 is the earliest I could find a reference to this. Sunday services were held following the Sandy Hook mass shooting. And apparently going back to normalcy ticked off certain types of truthers. So let's call in a bomb threat, right? I don't know. So someone posts this. On the morning of December 14th, 2012, CNN broadcast video footage of Connecticut State Troopers running into the St. Rose of Lima School. It's not a school. That is 1 mile away from Sandy Hook School. The troopers were running into the school just before sundown, as proven by the angle and directional shadows. This was 2 days later, not on the 14th. They were running in because it was in lockdown. That might have been true. Okay. But that was a lockdown thing, and it's not a school. No little kids would have been present at the St. Rose of Lima School. It's not a school. Just before sundown, nor at the Sandy Hook School. This is December, and the angle of light is affected by the hills in the area. We've gone over this. Sundown where I'm sitting is 3 p.m. because there's a hill over here. Do we really have to do a Google Street View of this? Do you really want me to do that? And you'll scream, but it's the angles of the light. You're claiming that it was in the afternoon or early morning or whatever. Which video is it? When the police were going there during the lockdown on the same day? At a church, not a school? Or 2 days later? Because all the videos you guys show are from 2 days later. Because there was a bomb threat. Next thing he says, that video was shot the evening before an active shooter drill. You have to show that there's an active shooter drill that isn't 40 miles away. I've already done a video about that. You're lying about it being, well, it was an active shooter drill that went live. That doesn't make any sense to anybody sane. And you're screaming this because you want to be antagonistic on the internet. Halbig got hauled off somewhere because he just won't stop harassing people. He's a sadist. He doesn't care about your gun rights. He's a jerk. How big is an asshat? He deserves every negative thing he gets in this world, because that's all he is a big ball of negativity. He's not a killjoy. He's a soul eater. That script was broadcast to the public the next day at the condemned Sandy Hook school. It wasn't condemned, it was an actively used location. Claiming it was condemned because it had some damage to a wall and some water damage on one side of the building from people who claim that that's what they got in images. Most of which won't get really angry if you ask them even simply what day they took the images, because they don't know, because they're lying most of the time. One side is lying, the other one isn't. I'm sorry. You guys you have no traction anymore. This entire thing was a Department of Homeland Security, FEMA national level exercise. That's why we aren't getting information, and freedom of information requests are stonewalled. No, the freedom of information requests you guys make are deliberately insulting and trolling so that you'll get a negative response, and even then they still give you the responses and simply say, we don't have any information about that. And the next thing is you have to prove there was a FEMA drill or Department of Homeland Security drill of some kind and that no children died. And you guys have expended a ridiculous amount of effort since 2012 or whatever on every time anybody gets shot, trying to prove that nobody ever gets shot, because you guys are obsessed with screaming this. And you waste my time instead of harassing victims of Sandy Hook shooting. You waste my time and other people's time. You annoy people on Metabunk, and they basically just let you say things, and then they say, well, here's the thread that proved that you're wrong, and we don't have to talk to you anymore because you can go read it. The thing about this sadistic, argumentative, misery-inducing crap that these people do is that a lot of us have hardened ourselves into understanding how to deal with you. I will respond to you. I may be the only one who actually gives a damn that you posted this. But you're going to have to specify what video you're talking about. The lockdown on December 14th? Or the December 16th actual evacuation due to a bomb threat, probably because of a Sandy Hook truther that popped up. I remember that day that Alex Jones created a fake story within 30 minutes so he could get some page views because he's a ghoul about some subject. I mean, you can look up which one it was, or does he do it every time? And screaming over and over again, staged FEMA drill, false flag, doesn't change whether or not it really happened. It doesn't change whether people died. It doesn't change whether you're crazy. We don't have to care about you. You mean nothing to anyone. I'm giving you the time of day. That's what you wanted. This is your only way of getting interaction, is to pick fights with people, because everybody else who knows you won't talk to you. Is that it? Anyway, part of the FEMA L366 course. That was a course a very long distance away, and it was a different subject matter than what you're talking about. That was a room with about 20 people in it talking to each other and discussing something. They weren't doing an active shooter drill. They really weren't. You want me to... I'll include a link below to the video where I explained that. Asked and answered. Refuted 1,000 times. Please bring up the same gish galloping dead horse. Here we go. That was taking place near Sandy Hook Elementary. No, it was nowhere near it. I have a video explaining how far away it was. Because when people look up FEMA L366, they find out that it's nowhere near Sandy Hook. And you know that. That's why you posted that, so that you know that I'll say that, so you know that I'll say that, so you'll post your next response. Well, I'm not letting you post these comments. You have to acknowledge that it was nowhere near Sandy Hook. You have to acknowledge that it was not a school, but it was St. Rose of Lima Church. And you have to acknowledge there was two different things on two different days. One on the same day, which was a lockdown. Every place had a lockdown that day after shooting. That's what they were supposed to do. That's safety. And 2 days later, because one of you assholes called in a bomb threat. I'm blaming you. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's just like, that's just the most logical solution. You guys lying constantly about where these videos were taken, when they were taken, and what they were pointing the camera at over and over again means you're all guilty. See, it's the same kind of logic. Live and die by your own assertions and your own methodology and logic. You deserve no more respect than I do. I get accused of being some shill on the take for accomplishing what? Meanwhile, you guys always state what you're trying to accomplish. You're trying to harass people and annoy them. You're trying to scare people into submission. You like to bully and harass people. You like to demonize people. You like to get away with it under the guise of, I'm just looking for the truth and just asking questions. No, you're not. You're harassing people, actively threatening them, or calling them bomb threats. And we are allowed to point that out to every one of you until you learn that you're never going to get any other response other than, you're not just trolling, you're a threat to people on purpose and you wish to be interpreted that way. This is like someone showing up at my business when I had one, carrying a gun on his hip. You offended by this? No, I'm armed and I'm pointing a shotgun at you. It's part of the damn building. And I wheel it back and forth, pull it out, and throw it up on the desk and say, I'm pointing a shotgun at you it's loaded with solid slugs. It'll blow off the front of the counter, but I won't die today. Now, take your gun outside and put it in your car or go away. Cop shows up, asks what happened. I played back the video because the idiot lied. He gets hauled away. If you ask for this, this is what happens. Nobody has to care about how you feel about your treatment when you do things that are designed to get these reactions. But this is the softcore reaction. You're wrong. You're repeating things that are not true. You might want to look into your sources, or you know damn good and well you just said a bunch of things that aren't true. You know that. And you're just doing this to get a reaction out of people. And the only thing you'll concentrate on is playing back a loop of me talking about what I had to do when someone showed up at my building, the business that I was running, packing heat and trying to get a reaction. If anybody's curious, the gun was actually loaded with a sandbag round. First shot. I don't want to kill anybody, I just don't want them to kill me. Come on. But anyway, the drill was sold to the public as a real shooting to push Obama and Mike Bloomberg's gun control agenda. And god dang, it worked really good, didn't it? No, that's not what happened. What happened is there was a shooting, and you people keep wanting to exonerate a murderer. Every damn time there's a shooting, a certain variety of person wants to play devil's advocate, but gets obsessed with it and turns into the devil. In addition, many of Sandy Hook's crisis actors became very rich through book sales, speaking tours, etc. Same old claims. The CNN video clearly shows this. No, it doesn't. The CNN video, if you actually want to go watch it, actually has the audio on the CNN site. I'll have a link below. CNN.com, 2012, December 14th, U.S. Gallery Newton Shooting Index, and it states factually what happened, and includes snapshots of the videos you're talking about, proving that you're lying. And the archives of it also show it. So if you're going to claim they altered them afterwards, that would be the same day they posted them. And that's on the 14th, and then there's one for the 16th if you want to go look it up. It says as an addendum, on the 16th this image was taken. They added it in afterwards, and it says right above this was revised later to add that in, but it states when it was taken. And if you right-click the image, the metadata states that it was taken, that picture was taken on the 16th. It contains every single thing to make a completely transparent test of it, and it even works when it's in the archive. You literally don't have any way of claiming anything else, but you can if you want to. Those donation pages were created days before the Sandy Hook's thing happened. Counterpoint, those were pages that were already up, and people repurposed them by naming them something else and made them into tribute pages. This is something documented because you can look up the archives for them. Facebook made the unusual nice behavior at the time, they don't do it anymore, where you could look up the archives of them that were automatically done. Now they try to block archiving for some reason. The argument's invalid, and so are you. Please don't drool on your potatoes. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that.